Hello, this is Highway 81. This is north direction. This is south going into Oklahoma. Right here is this marker, the real Cherokee Strip. Let's see if I can get this a little closer there. I don't know if that will show up. Under treaties made in 1828 and 1833 with the federal government, the Cherokee tribe of Indians exchanged their homelands in the southeastern part of the United States for land in present northeastern Oklahoma and southeastern Kansas, and a perpetual outlet west lying across southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma between the 96th and 100th meridians. In 1837, the federal government authorized Reverend Isaac McCoy to survey the boundaries of all the Cherokee lands. This survey showed the northern boundary of the Cherokee domain to be the southern edge of the Osage reserved lands in the territory that became the state of Kansas. On May 30th, 1854, when the United States Congress passed the Kansas-Nebraska Act, the southern boundary of the territory of Kansas was established at the 37th parallel, thereby including a narrow strip of Cherokee land in the new territory. The Cherokees reported the matter to the Secretary of the Interior and asked that the southern boundary of the Kansas Territory be so modified as to make it coincident with the northern boundary of their lands. No correction was made, and in 1861, Kansas was admitted as a state. Following the Civil War, the federal government made a treaty with the Cherokees under which the tribe ceded in trust to be the United States the 2.46 mile wide strip north of the 37th parallel, and agreed that it should become a part of the state of Kansas. On May 11th, 1872, Congress opened the strip to white settlers. The Cherokee outlet is often mistakenly called the Cherokee Strip. The western limit of both tracts was the 100th meridian. Otherwise, the two areas differed in width and length. The outlet was 226 miles long and 58 miles wide. And so this is an interesting marker because it relates the story of the real Cherokee Strip, and it mentions Isaac McCoy. Isaac McCoy was the promoter for Indian removal of the tribes from east, and he orchestrated and led some of the first Indian removals into Indian territory, which at that time Isaac McCoy was proposing the area of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska to be an Indian Canaan. Later, everything would be moved to just Oklahoma being Indian territory. So Isaac McCoy was a Baptist missionary. He worked alongside Johnston Likens, John Tecumseh Jones, and others that assisted Isaac McCoy. Isaac McCoy would suffer a great deal in his endeavors with the tribes, the Ottawas, the Potawatomi, the Sac and Fox, and some of the early tribes of Shawnee, the Delaware. And they would settle up in Kansas City area, the Topeka and Lawrence area. And the Delaware tribe, they would relinquish their land when the railroad would come through, and they would, under the leadership of Chief Charles Journeycake, would relocate into Indian Territory, Oklahoma. And so this is an interesting landmark that gives the mention of Isaac McCoy. And Isaac McCoy, he orchestrated the northeastern tribes moving into Indian territory, whereas Evan Jones was another Baptist missionary, and he was against Indian relocation. This was during the presidency of Andrew Jackson. And Evan Jones believed that Isaac McCoy was an enemy to Native tribes. Isaac McCoy was considered a friend to Native tribes, and so you had difference. Isaac McCoy was the one that wrote the booklet Practicality of Indian Reform in 1827. That was that encouraged Andrew Jackson in his Indian removal policies. So here you have Isaac McCoy, the real Cherokee Strip, the relocation of the tribes from the east to the west into Indian Territory, and then they would be relocated from Kansas into present-day Oklahoma.